After finishing up my review of Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl last month, I mentioned I was going to do my review of Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it's finally happening. I'm going to do a review of the game and see how good the game is. The setting in the game takes place back through time in the Sui region, as in the game where you do battle trainers and catch Pokemon, but then this is early times. There's no gym leaders or leagues. It's just you roaming around different areas, in which there's 5 areas in the game. So before I get to my review of the game, I want to say about the first trailer. So during the Pokemon Direct in 2021, they announced new Pokemon games. One was Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and the other one is Pokemon Legends Arceus. First off, the trailer looked amazing. Second, I've never seen a Pokemon game look anything like it, and funnily enough, this game is in the mainline series. I give kudos on that. So when I saw this, I got really excited for a different Pokemon game and making it almost an open world game. I say almost because the 5 areas are the only areas to go in the game aside from the village. So I can understand Scarlet and Violet games went full on open world, but I'll talk about those games when I get to them. For a world game like this, it's really good. I've seen people compare this to the Monster Hunter series and even Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In the game you have a hub system and multiple areas similar to Monster Hunter, which I didn't play this series. And the gameplay and art style is similar to Zelda Breath of the Wild. With those I mentioned, I don't mind it. All that stuff is great. It's an action RPG game, unlike the other games where it's just traditional RPG game. But again, I like the changes in the game. I like how the setting has an ancient time feel to it in a new setting. It's like Sinnoh, but it's more island based, hence why the region looks like this. Now, the characters are pretty new, though they're actually ancestors from other games. For example, Kamado is a different version of Professor Rowan, Silene a different version of Cyrus, Volo a different version of Cynthia, and other characters from other versions, not just from the Sinnoh region. Whoever designed these characters, they did a great job based on the characters. Well, Ingo is the only one that's not new. Let's talk about the Pokemon. In this game, there are 242 Pokemon. I know it's a small lineup, but you mainly focus on the Pokédex to Sinnoh, and even Platinum ones. Interestingly, this is the first time a Pokemon game to feature starter Pokemon from different regions together. You have Rowlet, Cyndaquil, and Oshawott. Interesting choices, but the reason why is because the final evolutions have Hisuian forms, in which they look cool. Also, side note, you can catch the Sinnoh starters in the game too. There are new Hisuian forms, 17 in the game, and even 7 new Pokemon introduced. I guess you can say they didn't have enough room for the next generation, but there wasn't anything you can do. Out of my favorites are the new ones. Hisuian Zora and Zoroark do look great out of the forms. And for the new Pokemon, I think Cleaver and Sneasler are the only ones I liked, but that's about it. Let's talk about mailing Pokemon in the gameplay. I don't usually mention since you can find any Pokemon in the games, but in this one, you can actually catch them by either throwing or battling. Yeah, they use the throwing without battling mechanic, similar to Pokemon Go and the Let's Go games. There's even alpha Pokemon where Pokemon are larger and have red eyes, which I'm pretty mixed on that, but I'll talk about it in a second. There are boss battles in the game with Noble Pokemon, as it's called, in which there are 5 of them. You can battle them by using a Pokemon, or you can use a bomb to hit them in battle. I really like it. It reminds me of gym leaders in a way. Definitely one of the best mechanics in a Pokemon game. As for the difficulty, well, I'll talk about that later. Similar to Sun and Moon, there are Pokemon you can ride, which I do like that mechanic. I can understand not having a bike in ancient times. You still have traditional Pokemon gameplay, but with differences. You have a tent where you can heal up Pokemon or change day or night time. You can put Pokemon in storage, similar to the PC, and you can give catching Pokemon to do progress, which I really like that. Maybe because I like doing tasks like that. There's even items defined so you can craft things, similar to Animal Crossing and Minecraft. The battle system has 2 styles, strong and agile. And there's even mass outbreaks throughout the area to find where one Pokemon is at. There are traditional battles in the game, but it's only less. But yeah, that's a lot of gameplay to say because it's honestly great, of course. The graphics are really good. Not quite to the Zelda game's breathtaking visuals, but the colors are great. And while the music is not much in the game, it's pretty good. I will admit, some sound like Sinnoh music, like the Heartwood area is giving Eterna Forest vibe. Sounds great actually. The areas are massive sized and you can go anywhere on the map. And I actually don't find the areas that empty. The main story ending is earned by catching either Dialga or Palkia, plus new forms. There is a post game, but I haven't finished it yet. But I know what happens after. That's all the great stuff in the game. Now let's get to the criticisms. And while the worlds do look good, some of the textures are not very good, mainly in grass. The water effects do look odd, especially when you catch water type Pokemon. And the frame rate, seriously, why does Steelix look like that in slow motion? It's just so jarring. Now the difficulty, don't get me wrong, I love playing games that are difficult, but the difficulty is just weird. You can catch Pokemon at a pretty low level at the start, but then the Alpha Pokemon and even the Noble Pokemon are pretty powerful. The Noble Pokemon I have no problem with, but they are pretty hard at times. Two of them, the Hisuian Electrode and the Hisuian Avalugg, are the hardest battles, but at least you can try it again. The Alpha Pokemon is so difficult. While it's good to challenge them, it's just too hard. Who wants to fight a level 40 Alpha Rapidash while your team is at level 10 or 20? It feels like the game wants you to challenge you so much. But yeah, I wish the difficulty was handled better. Maybe add easy, medium, and hard mode. That would be nice. Another major criticism, and that is falling down in the air to the ground, fading, and losing your items. Yeah, that's one part in the game I don't like. Thankfully, I do get Hisuian Braviary to ride later on, just in case if you don't fall. But yeah, those are the criticisms. But yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus is actually a great game. And it's actually one of my favorite Pokemon games. I know it's weird saying that because this game is a different experience, but I like how they changed it. And while it is a hard game, it was still fun overall. I don't think it's higher than these games here because they're some of my favorite games in this series. Oh, and this game is the best Pokemon game on the Switch. No question about it. It's better than Let's Go games, Sword Shield, Diamond and Pearl remakes, and even Scarlet and Violet. But yeah, let me know what do you think of Legends Arceus. Is it one of the best Pokemon games or is it somewhere else? For me, I really love this game and I can't wait to play more until I get to the post game. That is all for the review. Scarlet and Violet reviews will be coming in a couple months. I will see you all in the next video.